Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is an exciting day because I was able to salvage some wood. I do some projects with purchased wood, but rarely. I typically try to get scrap wood or wood that is made out to be trash. For my projects, I really like the idea of taking something that's going to go into a dumpster or into a landfill and turning it into something that somebody's going to use. So today we had a really good find. Unfortunately, we've had a hurricane, so that means there's been a lot of wood in our community, but our Ace Hardware, which is a place I go to almost every day, had a really huge stack of wood in their salvage pile today. So I just wanted to set you up so you can see we're going to unload it all, and I wanted you to see how I organize it because it's all different lengths, it's all different widths, and so I'm going to get it all out, organize it all so I can determine what projects I can accomplish. All right, here we go. All right, made quick work of unloading all of our wood, and I just wanted to show you how I kind of organize it. So typically I start with my boards that have shortest length and also thinnest boards. So 1x or less than 1s, and then it goes up in thickness from there and up in length from there. And I'm building what I can with what I can find. So I organize my wood in this way so that I can determine what projects I'm able to accomplish with the wood that I've reclaimed. So it's exciting for me because now the imagination process begins. I can kind of look at this wood pile right here and think about all of the opportunities, things that we can make. And I always have projects in my mind, but I can't start those projects. I don't typically start those projects unless I have the wood to accomplish them. So I'm really excited about all of this. I'm gonna go to the drawing board now and just kind of start putting some measurements together on some of the things I've been wanting to do, and we'll get back with the next project. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about how to source the wood. We got the wood home, unloaded it, and kind of sorted it. The next step I typically do is make sure that I remove all of the rusty nails and screws out of these pieces. These boards have some pretty gnarly hardware sticking out of them. Some of them are actually a star bit screw. I don't know, see if you can see that there. And they're bent, so it might take a little finesse. I've found that being gentle with it and really just using the drill slowly has had a better result than trying to hammer it out backwards or use the pliers. So that's what we're going to try to do on these bent screws. And this board has predominantly nails, and these other boards have rusty nails out of them as well. So I typically just back hammer all of those out as much as possible and then use the claw to remove those. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to go a little bit more in depth on this video, and instead of doing time lapse and flying through it, we're going to just go ahead and do it in regular time here. The first thing I'm going to do is start with the nails. I always view them as a little bit more dangerous because they are rusty. So if you have one that's curved, a lot of times I just use the claw and straighten it out, and then a couple good whacks, and it'll typically come right out. But we'll turn this board over and get it out from the other side. So use the claw to straighten, hammer if you can. That one came right out. All right, let me see what's going on with this one. Okay, so this one's kind of buried in the wood a little bit. We definitely don't want to break it off in there, so time for a little finesse. I love my sawhorses for this particular task because it's nice and sturdy, but you also have the openings where you can use the, okay. Okay, cool, that's loose. We got 2 and 1 here, really close together. Let's just see if we can get one of them started. And then the other. So we've got all of those nails hammered up as much as possible. Flip it over, use your claw, get them out, and make sure you got your wastebasket handy. I've done this before and had a big pile, and then they don't all end up in the trash. So make sure you start with everything in place: gloves, eye protection, hammer, wastebasket. Okay, great. So you get the idea on the nails. Let's move right along to the screws, and then I'll go ahead and strip the rest of these boards out. So, as I mentioned, we have some star tip screws here and in here. I went ahead and got out my star tips. So, most standard bit sets are going to come with a bunch of different size of star tip. So this is actually one of the larger ones for these. So we've got our tip. I always just insert the very end of it in and then hand tighten it. Let's see if we can get these out without stripping them. They're pretty rusty. Yeah, okay, so that was what I was not looking for. So these they're rusted, and you'll see, so you can put your tip in, spin, nothing's happening. So we're reversing. Always want to make sure you have it on reverse. There's a forward and a backward on your drill, and it's not going anywhere. So let's try another one. This one is really crooked, so let's see if we can work this one out gently. Nope. Okay, so all these holes are stripped. This stuff is really rusty. So let me, we're gonna move on. I just bought some brand new locking pliers. So I'm gonna try hammering them, see if we can get anywhere with the hammer, and then we're gonna move on to the pliers. Okay, so we're a little stuck here on the screws. They're not turning. Well, they're turning, but they are definitely not coming out of their holes. So I just got these really cool Milwaukee Torque Lock wrenches, yeah. Needle pliers. Sorry, there we go. There we go. Pliers. So they have a release, they close, and then they actually tighten. So you can tighten the teeth all the way up. So what we're going to try to do is get these down on our screw, and we're going to see if we can just pull the screw out from the head. Okay. Just need to open it up some more. Okay, it's not going to come out by pulling, but I am able to get a tight enough grip on it that I can actually twist it out of the hole. And this is a nice thick board, and really hard, seems like a hard wood. Voila, okay. We've successfully removed one screw from this board. We're gonna put you on time lapse, and I'm gonna go ahead and strip the rest of these boards out now that we've done a couple examples on real time. Thanks.
Awesome, the hardware is almost all stripped, and now this wood is ready for upcoming projects. Stay tuned to see what we make next.